Welcome back to DeFi Decoded. Today I'll be taking you step by step how to get started in the Terra Luna ecosystem. This series is all about laying the fundamentals with these layer 1 blockchains, then moving up in these kind of next courses that we will be recording, all of this for free on this DeFi Decoded playlist. You can see here we've gone through a lot of these main layer 1 blockchains, but with this, really we're going to get you started on how to set up your wallet, how to kind of understand how to use Terra Luna, and then from there we'll actually move up to the intermediate kind of videos that we'll do, advanced and then expert beyond that. So using the decentralized exchanges, then kind of more yield farming thing, and then a bit more advanced, higher level things as the series progresses. If you do want to see a tutorial video on Kepler, we can do that, but that would have to be requested either in the comments below or in the Telegram group. With this, we're going to focus on the main wallet here, which integrates very, very nicely with kind of the mainframe, if you will, of the Terra Luna ecosystem, which is Terra Station. So if you're on the proper sites, which is very, very important, all the links to all these sites that we talk about in this video will be linked down below in the description. When you're on here, basically you'll want to click Terra Luna ecosystem. If you're on this main page, the way you find this is just hitting ecosystem. You go see more apps. From here, I'm also in an airport, so if there's any background noise, I apologize. But you can actually see Terra Station. You'd click on here. When you come to Terra Station, this is where you'd actually go connect. For this example, it's going to be the same setup, but there's different ways to actually access your wallet. So if you're recovering a wallet in and of itself, this is where you would actually go to the Terra Station extension, which is right here. Once you click on that, you download the Chrome extension, and you would hit recover a wallet. So if you know your mnemonic or you know your private key, in this case, recovering existing wallet, you would be inputting your phrase, which is your mnemonic, which you have written down on paper, or if you have the private key, you can import that. Otherwise, most new people are going to actually be creating a new wallet. And like I said, for this example, we're going to be using the actual Chrome extension. You can also do this on mobile, but I personally like to do things on desktop with crypto. You can access it with a hardware wallet, so with Ledger, or you can actually download the software here. But again, the actual setup in and of itself is going to be the same process. These are just different modes of doing that, right? So different avenues. And so, like I said, in this case, we're going to do the Terra Station extension. But here, we're going to have it pulled up here. So we're going to go create a new wallet. In this case, we'll just use, since this is all for example, this is the sake of this video, I'll just do invest global, boom, password, very, very simple. It has to be uppercase and all these different things, so exclamation mark. Okay. Boom, so let's copy this. And you'll actually want to make sure you get that, but again, for the sake of this video, I'm copying it, and what I'm going to do right here is do something like this so I can just see all the letters, because once you have this written down on paper, like I said, so the private key, the mnemonic, these are two things that you want to store offline. You want to store in a safe, secure place. I talked about this in a lot of the other videos we've done throughout this DeFi Decoded series, but it's vitally important, number one, that you have your cybersecurity up before you do this. So maybe the first time running through these wallets, you can do a test one, because it doesn't cost you anything but your time to just set up a practice wallet, even if you just transact just a little bit of money in it. But the most important thing, and why cybersecurity is so important, making sure you do not have something like a keystroke logger or a monitor logger where they can actually see exactly what's going on your screen, is because so many people fall for these things, these phishing sites, these like scam emails where maybe you click on a link and it looks like Apple or Amazon, whatever, this kind of a big company that most people use. Some like scammer basically sends this to mass amounts of emails. Somebody clicks on the link and they realize, oh, this is a scam email. Then they close out of it. But as soon as you click on that link, basically what can be embedded in your computer is something called a keystroke logger. There's other forms of this as well, but that's the most common. Basically any input you type into your computer. So when we're retyping these things back in, or let's say you go to recover your wallet and you're typing back in these words, that they can see this, right? So it's the same thing with any password you're inputting multiple times. So crypto in and of itself is the most secure thing, but if you don't have your own security set up properly, then you're kind of falling behind, right? So maybe I can do a new video talking more about cybersecurity, but I've done this in the past when I was in Istanbul, now here in Portugal at this airport, but that's very, very important. So having your proper foundation set up even before you create this wallet, but I'm assuming you guys, most of you have this, but you can check out my video on this. It's called like crypto security. It's on my channel. But we're going to here find the 20-second word. So we had it right here, right? So let's see. 21, 22. So urban. So we're going to take urban. And again, this is just for the sake of this. Anyone can obviously log into this when you're watching it later, but there's not going to be any funds in it unless somebody else watching this wants to put funds in it, and then hey, go crazy. But yes, the wallet is empty, obviously right here. So the wallet does not hold any native tokens right here. So we can add a token, for example. So let's say we want to add like I I don't know, like B Luna, right? So you can add these different things, and from here, this is where you can actually hook it up with the actual Terra Station place in and of itself, right? So this is where we would actually connect it. Boom. So you see how it automatically connected there. That's very important. Also, if this is the very first time you're doing this, sometimes you will have to actually download the actual like wallet in and of itself, but it all depends on what device you're using. It's also important to export this private key. So for example, we would re-input our password, take that private key, make sure it's written down on paper, and when you're going through this the first time, like a practice, like I was talking about, let's say, hey, you can store it on your computer, because like I said, I mean, in the case of this video, obviously this is completely for the sake of example, writing all of these things here, but when you're actually doing this in and of itself, the first time for you, maybe you want to practice doing this, and then the second time around when you're creating a new wallet, that's when you want to actually have everything stored in a safe place. Maybe you want to have no single point of failure. I talk about that a lot, practicing what, I'm here at an airport, what pilots do with Six Sigma, making sure that you have belt and suspenders, right? So having multiple kind of areas of safety, that's the main thing, right? Have a little sip of coffee here, airport coffee. Tasty. Okay, so like I said, once you have your kind of second one set up, this is one you're actually going to use. Now we'll actually move into the Terra Station extension. So this is kind of, like I said, the mainframe, the dashboard, if you will, of the Terra Luna ecosystem. You can see how everything's going on here. You can customize some of these things. So let's say, I don't know, you want to see like IDT. You can see that for insurance. You can see the Terra Luna price up to date there. You can see the tax right here, community pool, staking ratio. Down here you can see the staking returns, whether it's analyzed or daily, depending on how many funds you have in there. Then transaction volume has decreased, obviously, in the last 30 days because of the current state of the crypto markets. But it's important to look at these things again, even if it's in a bear market and you're watching this and you're like, how do I set up in the Terra Luna ecosystem? You're ahead of the pack, because most people, they're only going to be interested in this during the bull market. So in the bear market, it's even more important to get these things set up and just interact with all these different protocols in general, because then you can compare and contrast going, oh, I like how Terra Luna does this, and this is for sake of example, but hey, maybe you don't like how Avalanche does this. I'm not saying that in any way, that's just an example, but once you kind of make those comparisons, then you can kind of have a better understanding of the user experience and a better understanding of like maybe where you should put some capital, right? And here, or you could help another ecosystem, like let's say you like Avalanche more than Terra, and Terra's doing this well, and you're like, hey, maybe I can help the Avalanche ecosystem, maybe you contribute to the community, maybe you set up new things, and help them with some ideas there, right? So let's see, not just helping them with your capital, but actually helping them with your work. So with this, you can see the total accounts, you can see the tax rewards. Down here, we can see the actual wallets. Very, very simple. Obviously, this wallet is not holding any tokens, but this is where you can actually send things back and forth and hold your own. So like, let's say you want someone to send something to you, so you can either take this, which is the actual address, to send it to them, or just use the QR code. Beyond that, we have like the transaction history. There won't be anything in here. We have the staking options. You can see the voting power, different things here. There's also governance here. We won't cover governance. You can also write smart contracts in here, which is a bit more advanced. But it's very interesting that it's all in this hub, and I really like that what Terra's doing. That's something that's a bit different than some of these other ecosystems with this. So you can actually create a smart contract here, which is quite interesting. I have videos on this. Again, in this video, it's mainly focused on people new to the ecosystem, beginners, so I'm not going to confuse you with smart contracts. But beyond that, we also have their decentralized exchange here, or swap. So we could swap like UST for other things. So like we could select whatever. We don't have anything here, but we can also change slippage like most decentralized exchanges. We can change in between all these different things. And beyond that, I mean, there's a few other features, but there's not too much else to focus on in this video. That's basically it. If you have other projects in the Terra Luna ecosystem you want to see a video on, different things that are in that, we can then, like I said, after all these, we cover all these beginner layer 1 platforms. We're going to be talking about Elrond, we're going to be talking about Near Protocol and some of these other ones. But beyond that, like I said, after that we will be talking about some of the more advanced protocols. So if you have any requests, things that you would like to see, just let me know in the comments or in the Telegram group. Everything down below in the description. We have the must-watch videos, talking about altcoin profit-taking strategies, talking about doing your own research. We have the free series called Global Technical Analysis if you're interested in trading in capital markets, not just crypto, but all capital markets. It's a completely free course, just like Defi Decoded. I like making these things that are kind of evergreen, so I can, if I meet someone, I usually travel to a lot of emerging markets, and they're like, hey, I'm ambitious, I want to learn about these things. I can go, hey, completely for free. I can point them to Global TA, which I'm probably going to do a 2.0 version of, or if they're interested in, hey, I want to get started in the crypto space, learning decentralized finance, I can go, hey, DeFi Decoded. So if you know anyone that wants to see these things, this is a very, very new thing that I'm doing, but I'm covering a lot of these things. My first one of this. You can see it down here. That's not the one that this will be. That's like another version that I did, but it had some technical issues, so this is going to be the main one. But covering all these different ecosystems, and like I said, if you have certain protocols you would like to see in any of these ecosystems, not just Terra Luna, let me know in the comments or in the Telegram group. Also, if you're looking for one-on-one help, kind of individual consulting basis, we have a link down below to set up a call, or send us an email at contact@investglobal.io. That's also in the description. That's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, button all, Invest Global, and until next time.